How to create a virtual version of a physical display or exhibition in a way that captures something of the intimate material qualities of being in the room with work is the challenge that many of us are now facing. It is an interesting challenge, though, and depends, like making the physical exhibition itself, on collaboration between people with many different skills, ideas, and perspectives. The curator is just one part of this team. Exhibition making, whether for a physical or virtual world, is a completely shared enterprise. Diana Sykes and I have known one another for years through our mutual interest in modern craft and design, and I was delighted to receive her invitation in 2018 to create a show for Fife Contemporary. The choice to work on a drawing show reflects the multidisciplinary programme of Fife Contemporary. All exhibitions that I'm asked to do start with this desire to reflect context, both people and place, in which the exhibition is due to take place. Drawing by hand is a process that still sits behind so many different art forms, and felt an obvious subject, therefore, through which to reflect the multidisciplinary Fife Contemporary context. The other reason for wanting to focus on drawing, and Scottish drawing in particular, was that over the years it has been a growing interest of mine, and I was excited by the chance to share what I had seen and learnt over a 40-year career in the art and design sector in Scotland and beyond. I returned to important books in this early research phase, such as Aberdeen University Professor of Social Anthropology Tim Ingold's Lines, A Brief History, first published in 2008, and the extensive literature by the late John Berger on the subject of drawing was a regular haunt of my thinking. I also reread the catalogue from a wonderful show a few years back at the ever-adventurous Kettle's Yard in Cambridge, Lines of Inquiry, in which drawings by surgeons demonstrating operating techniques were shown alongside designs for chairs and notations for music. As with Ingold, this exhibition reminds us of the myriad contexts for drawing something by hand. For example, if you wanted to draw a map to direct somebody to your house, you are likely to choose a diagram as the most precise and economically adept way of doing this. Following immersion in these books, I felt a bit like a trainee doctor reading medical books who immediately thinks they have the symptoms of all the diseases mentioned. I suddenly started to see links between everything: drawing and written language, drawing as information, drawing as a document of the world, drawing as the lines laid down from the imagination, valuable, as Berger puts it, not only to see or to look closely, but because of what it leads you on to see. I wanted to reflect something of the openness and precision of all this in the selection, and to do so with artists whose long-standing practice had given them extraordinary mastery of the vocabulary of line. I was also responding to what seemed to be a growing number of shows focusing on drawing in the wider curatorial world, from shows sponsored by the Bridget Riley Foundation at the British Museum, to the City Arts Centre, to the Drawing Room in London, and so on. I wrote a short essay for A Fine Line, an exhibition at the City Arts Centre in 2018, at the request of the artist organisers Francis Priest and Lizzie Ferry, who showed their own works alongside Bronwyn Slee and Angie Lewin, and this Fife invitation felt like a chance to continue the conversation. At the same time, I wanted to propose, as a curator, quite clearly, that drawing by hand has never ceased to be important as an active creative process, even in a world increasingly driven by computer algorithms. And, in the hands of experienced and ambitious artists, such as those in this exhibition, our perception of the world around us can be shifted through immersion in their active work. In some way, then, the foundation for this show is summed up by this dramatic image from sculptor Andy Goldsworthy: "My arm, black mud, Dumfriesshire." All works of art, as this image shows, depend on a living body finding and responding to material, both physical and conceptual, in specific environments.